Alright, so we know Gamma 1 and 2 are finally coming to DBZ Dokkan Battle. And this is something we have been waiting a couple of months for. And a lot of people are very excited about this announcement. I do want to clear up a few things before we go on in terms of like global scheduling and maybe what kind of units they're actually going to be. Now, again, first and foremost, this is only an announcement for the JP version of Dokkan. Unfortunately, Global Dokkan, we don't have an actual announcement of either when they're going to be here, if it's going to be like at the same time as JP in a few months. There's no clue on that. All we know that it is coming to the global version. Maverick does state, again, this is the time that he's running both versions are not in sync. Along with that, we do know that Global is getting most likely a Halloween Dokkan Festival at the end of the month. And on top of that, we are getting the Fasha and Chile double rates banner with the Carnival coins most likely. So because of that, it is possible that they may not come to Global. Now, I think that's more specific on if they're going to be a banner, right? I mean, I've seen people say it's likely they could potentially, I'll click on Maverick Braxton, whatever. Potentially there are free-to-play units, or, you know, potentially they are summonable, right? We don't know many details. We just know that they are coming. I want to clear that up right away. Now, if they're summonable, I think that they're going to be like a Dokkan Fest or an LR. It seems like it's going to be two separate units, right? And I think they would be pretty even in terms of their status. Now, along with that, I mean, we just got a Dokkan Fest on both versions. So if they drop like in the middle of the month, that could be likely. And they wouldn't be Dokkan Fest, right? If we take a look at what they did with the Universe Rival Saga category while the anime was ongoing, we see they had these different banners, right? Warriors of Universe 6, or Warrior Scissor Universe 6, whatever the banner was called. With this Kaonka leaflet there. We got this Kefla banner as well during, actually this is November. This is the infamous, 300 stone situation, but it's an example there. The 17 banner as well came out right during this time. Literally like all these banners were a few years ago at this point. So there it is. We've been getting just a lot of these banners during this time that the Universe Rival Saga anime was going on. Now, I think that it's probably likely going to be that where we get actual banners, but it's possible that these guys end up being free-to-play units. Now, if they do end up being free-to-play units, I personally would think, okay, that kind of does suck. I would like for them to be summonable, but again, we don't know any details, and considering that it seems like this is the Gamma 1 and 2, I would assume from early on in the movie, I don't think that they're gonna drop the final thing, like Gamma 2's final moment, like very, very soon in the game like this, during a non-like hype month in a sense, right? I mean, I love Kid Goku, but October is definitely not a time where they're gonna drop their big money moves, and I think that Gamma 2 card would be very sick to have as an LR. I've seen so many people, just generally, I've seen people react very positively to that moment. So, I mean, we're going to take a look at what kind of categories they could be on and stuff like that. Maybe what kind of leader skills that they could currently be on. Gamma 1 and 2 right now are in the Legends, and I said the Legends. They're in Legends, and they actually are also in Xenoverse 2 very soon. So it makes sense that we're getting announcements for these characters. So, I mean, we know for sure they'll be in the Androids category team. Like, that's just a given. The Android team itself doesn't really have an actual leader. If we take a look at AGL Cell here, he leads Android Cell Saga and Power Absorption and gives the 30% to Android's units. But because of that, he's not an actual Android's leader. So it doesn't have characters like Physical 17 on the team. Android 13, actually no, Android 13 is on the team himself. He's Power Absorption, but some of these characters are not on that category team, especially those that aren't in the Android Cell Saga. A lot of these androids don't really absorb, so that's the one thing about that. It would be cool if they end up being like an android's lead. I don't think that they would give him premium leader skills, but maybe at least 150% your androids just for a starter. I don't know. Not that it really matters though necessarily. I mean, I think we'll get eventually 170% Android's category leader within the next few months, basically. So, um, okay, so let's move on from there. I think that again, I looked at all these categories. They're on like 4 category teams that I think that they'd be on. I want to clear up a few that I think people would think they would be on, and specifically movie bosses. They're not going to be on the movie bosses category team because they're not the main antagonists. If you see here, Legends has this tag called Powerful Opponents, and that's essentially the big bad bosses category for Legends, right? Any character that was a main antagonist in the movie, in the actual main continuity, anything basically, if they were the big like enemy during that time in that specific section of the series, then they would be on Powerful Opponents. Gamma 1 and 2 are not on Powerful Opponents, so keep that in mind. Now, with Movie Hero, I think that the final versions will actually be on the Movie Heroes category. Basically, that like Battle of Fate version of them. But keep in mind that I think again it's gonna be like the early on versions of Gamma 1 and 2. And, you know, stuff like Final Trump Card and things like that, they're likely not gonna be on, right? But if you take a look at the categories that I think they will be on, again, androids, they'll be on artificial life forms. We don't have a new artificial life forms lead. I think it'd be really sweet if we got a leader for this category. I don't know, maybe another Cell from the Cell Saga, right? We haven't had a Cell. Well, I guess, never mind. We got a Cell this year. I think getting another Cell would be really ideal, though. Like a perfect Cell. Like one of these guys, right? The Cell that actually awakens. You know, eventually this guy's EZA is going to be coming out. This unit's EZA has to be coming out eventually. This guy needs a partner, like a really strong slot 1 God Cell option. I mean, it could potentially be this guy as well when he EZAs, but we just need another Cell unit, I think would be very, very important. And he could lead artificial life forms. That'd be very sweet. Maybe even androids too. Special posts, I mean, they're going to be on this team. This team is kind of dead right now. We would probably need like a new Gotenks leader or a Topo leader. I don't know. I mean, Saiyaman even could be a really good leader for this team. Like I could see a Dokkan Fest Great Saiyaman. I wouldn't be unhyped for that. I think that'd be pretty exciting, man. A Dokkan Fest Great Saiyaman. I'd be down for that. I know a lot of people wouldn't, but I'd be fine with that. Defenders of Justice, Vidal. I mean, again, Saiyaman, Dokkan Fest, and maybe Heroes. Someone from Heroes could lead this category because a lot of these time traveler units are on Defenders of Justice. I mean, again, God Topo again could also lead this team. That'd be fine as well. Actually, no, God Topo's not on this. No, I forgot about that because he's like fuck justice, right? So I mean, I just normal Topo could be interesting. A transforming Topo would be on it, right? I would assume so because it's like it's normal Topo then he transforms. So, Bond of Friendship or Siblings Bond. He probably won't be at Siblings Bond. I brought this up because they're like made together. Gamma 1 and 2. They give off a very brotherly vibe, in my opinion, but they were never stated to be like that, so like brothers. So I doubt that. Bond of Friendship, I think, would be much more likely. At the very least, you could see that as like very friendship-wise, like kind of like how Kel and Khalifa, they call each other sisters, but they're not on, you know, obviously Siblings Bond. They're on the Bond of Friendship category. They're the bestest friends. Well, God, okay. Anyways, that aside, we know that I think they would be on this category. I think it would make a lot of sense. So that's 5 teams, I guess, right? I mean, again, the later on versions of them would have a lot more categories, specifically Gamma 2. But yeah, I mean, they're going to help a lot of these teams that are weaker, but they're not on an actual team you could run them on right now. None of these teams have like an actual leader. Well, like a Pan, right? You can run them on the Pan team, which is fine. But I mean, they obviously would want to be ran with androids because they're going to have links like, they're going to have like Android Assault. Though they could even have, now probably not tutorials, like Infinite Energy could be something that they have. I don't know, like look at, like Shocking Speed would be a link that they would have, right? They wouldn't, Red Ribbon Army even. So a lot of these links, you know, that these Android units will be getting, you know, they won't actually, they'll be able to link up well with them. But yeah, that's all I want to say. So let me know what you guys think of these Gammas and coming to Dokkan. I still think it's exciting, finally superhero stuff, but yeah, let me know who you guys would like to see in superhero besides Beast Gohan or Orange Piccolo. name a character besides those two, or just go on and Piccolo in general. I want to hear you guys' comments in the section. I can't speak, whatever. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.